power bowl ramen. So I use the wide ramen noodles, and first I boiled about half a liter of organic chicken stock, and then I added the ramen noodles and this bowl, and I tried to take the beef out, so let's hope it's out of there. And there was a little bit of the sweet and sour sauce left in the container, the pan, and James is going to talk about Cosmos. I'm going to read a poem first, and maybe I'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to grab my notes.
You grab your notes. So, and hopefully that soup will cool off for James quickly, because it's piping hot. But luckily we have rain, and I have the windows open in the house, and I thought, yeah, it's okay for cooking. So this was cooked in the house for a change. I mean, it doesn't take long, 3 minutes. And so yeah, we'll see what James thinks of that. And it made a little bit more than that. Well, it didn't all fit back in the into the power bowl for serving. So there's a little bit left for James to eat. So here is my poem, Drought Casualties and Victors. With this single droughty year, I've lost a juniper, a pear, an apple tree. I also lost some strawberries, a cost I don't take lightly. They're all friends to me. In heat waves, it's sure tough to keep things wet. I find it I water only plants I see. Those out of sight are easy to forget. I plan to water all eventually, but once some plant I see is dry again, it drinks as others slip my memory. I find lost crispy plants and mourn them then. In heat waves, plants are lost so easily. I only have so much that I can give. And so I'll see the garden I help live. So it's better to look at things that way. I mean, you could get weighed down by the things that you lose, but you only have so much energy to go around. And then we get going on to this. So luckily, like I did, I was praying for rain and we got it. So you're welcome. No, I don't know.
What is it?
So thank you God.
Two
for the
rains
rain.
in the last 4 days.
No, I don't know if anything that I did helped us get rain, but I was sure hoping for it.
Well, didn't hurt it either. So.
No, it doesn't hurt. Why not?
You just don't want to waste too much time praying. You know, like there are some certain religions that spend way too much time praying. Things like that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the time I think, well, with healing hands and stuff like that, and healing sight, it's like, pay attention. You know, look at what, and what can you do? You know, with your healing hands, what can you do physically
instead of repeating prayers over and over again, it's better to be thinking about what you can do, like you say, to deal with the situation, so on and so forth. If you can, maybe you can't bring rain on, but I'm going to put that there. Doesn't matter if it's on the table. Yeah.
I probably missed more than one. I'm sorry. I tried.
I'm not seeing anything else. You did a great job.
Okay.
Thanks for doing that.
Anyway, we're on to disc 4 of this, which James will talk about disc 3 again once I'm done with talking about
once
disc 4.
I find the notes. I was listening a bit to. Hopefully
I know where they are. Okay, you talk about disc 3 a bit, and
I was worried I left them outside in the rain.
I know what has happened to them. So you talk about, you were hearing disc 4, what it's about, the sun and all that. So just get started.
You know, I don't think I'm going to find one disc. I might find one lecture where I won't find something. I'm not talking about offensive. I'm just talking about unscientific. Now, that's the nature of science. Big science. Science with a capital S. It's not about science. It's about big boss man bossing people around.
So here you are.
So talk about what you got out of
the sun. Okay, so what I got out of disc 4, basically, what's Neil deGrasse Tyson is talking about the sun. Well, the best thing I liked about disc 4 was seeing his dog, a chocolate lab, which was always smiling and wagging because they were walking down the beach while he was talking. And he didn't miss a beat. He was talking away, about whatever he'd planned on talking about, and it seemed very casual and comfortable. And his dog was all over the place because, James had James's dog Paris. She was incredible. She was all over the place. I don't think she'd really walked on a leash. I think she knew how to do it. She didn't want to have to walk on a leash. She already, Chihuahuas are really quite sure of themselves.
They are.
So whatever they think they know it all. And who are you to be telling them? Right?
Like you'll ask them, are you smarter than James?
Yeah.
Are you smarter than Pauline?
They'll
look you soulfully in the eye, which for a dog basically means yeah.
Oh, but with Chihuahuas, they say, if you ask them, are you a dog? Or no. Are you a Chihuahua? Yes. Yeah. That's very different for them. Dogs are some lower beings. They are superior somehow.
So you'll ask them, are you a Chihuahua smarter than dogs? Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be making it up. Pauline could be making it up. Yeah. But we're not.
No. If you get to communicate with dogs, if you're accustomed to doing it, once you're accustomed to doing it, you notice that, yes, they do communicate. They're constantly communicating. You just have to be open to communicating with them. They have certain ways of doing it. So, and they do the same thing repeatedly. It's just as we use specific words repeatedly in the same way, they do specific things, and it can be like a look that they give for longer. And with dogs, they think fast. So you've got to, when you're telling them, when you're teaching them how to communicate with you, you have to explain, you're going too quickly, you have to slow down for me. And they will. They'll do it. Because they understand you. And so they want you to understand them.
Of course. Because so often what they want involves food.
Yeah.
Or going something, for a hike or something.
Yeah, or whatever, right? Something they want, right? They want to get it through to you.
Yeah. So the soulful look, if it's no, it's, or if they're not interested, sometimes it's, I'm tired of answering that question, yes. But, so there's the look, the pointed look. There is...
The paw. And usually it's the back leg, they'll kick it.
They'll kick it, yes. Which I think
Which is
kind
a
of means...
strong yes.
That's where they get the power from motivating. So it's basically saying, I can go, literally, for that. I can, I could run towards that.
Yeah.
They will...
And they all do it. They are all interested in communicating that way.
One extent or another. If you ask them if they want food, and the food's not there, they'll go like this.
Yeah, they'll lick their lips. It's
you want this.
So there's many different ways for yes.
Pauline taught one of our smartest dogs. They all end up being smart.
They're all very smart. Even the ones we adopt as adults. They get to know things.
They don't learn as well.
No.
Definitely not as fast.
No.
But tell me about Tornado and how you got him to say yes in another way.
Oh, well, I noticed that he'd go really quickly. He was so sharp. Everything was really fast, and it was really hard to tell what he was saying because I don't go that quickly, and my brain doesn't think that quickly. So I tell him, if you want me to know, you have to say yes like this, really just slowly, so that I can see it. And he did. He'd learned to nod.
He would nod.
So he'd nod, yes.
It was a little bit different. It was just like one nod.
Yeah.
But he'd do it with me.
And he knew, eventually, he knew how to look left and right at the corner before he crossed the street.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he understood why he was supposed to look left and right, but I suspect he did. Because one day he was, when we were at my mom's house, staying there when James had cancer and everything was stressful, and tornado took off. And he went across some busy roads to where he ended up, where we ended up getting him back. Some people contacted me on Facebook, I think, if I remember correctly. And it was just wild that they were able to find me that way or something. I guess maybe because we had his name on it, or maybe I even had, I don't know. But anyway, they got a hold of me, and I went and picked the little guy up, and it was quite a day for him to get out, because it was raining and stuff, and I don't know, he really wanted to get out of there. But anyway, got him back, and it was a very stressful time for us, and I guess he recognized that it was, that I wasn't able to be caring for him constantly like I had been. And so
he was downstairs with me, and it was like I was dead already. I was terminal, even though I didn't know it. And he'd spend all day while Pauline was gone howling. It was like I wasn't there.
Anyway, back to Cosmo. So the last disc 4 in this, it's about solar energy. And he mentioned some people, some scientists that were saying, like way back, that they were talking about basically the greenhouse effect, and there was one guy who developed a solar energy system, and this anyway. Now, a lot of people are thinking, and I mean, he's marketing it as such, that solar power, and wind power and whatever, this is, these are green energy sources and whatever, this will solve the world's problem. Well, they really won't. We have way too many people on the planet, and really, I mean, if you think about this little package here, you watch this, and you might be younger, or you probably are younger, because once you're older, if you're a passive personality type, especially an analytical personality type, but I mean, if you're a passive personality type, amiable, analytical, whatever, then you're probably thinking, oh, this is great, this is exactly what I want to hear. I want to be green, I want to be, I want everyone to live sustainably and everybody to live comfortably, and I have all these ideas, and I know I could make a difference in this and that and whatever. I know that I could do these things if I had, if somebody actually listened to what I said or whatever. Oh, well, you can come up with those ideas, and they will listen, and they will take them from you, and, well, first they will push you down. They'll make sure that you're nobody, and then once you're absolutely nobody, then those ideas somehow they will repackage them as their own.
Yes.
So it's once you're older, you realize, oh, this is an incredible shell game, this whole system, and it's and you may as well laugh about it, because what else are you gonna do? So you just you look at things, and you keep learning, and life becomes interesting. So whatever, it happens. But just ask yourself, when you're looking at all of these scientists who've made these certain discoveries and done something pretty impressive or whatever, and think, well, is Neil deGrasse Tyson, would you classify him as a scientist? I mean, he's teaching you a lot of nifty things that he's learned, but what has he done?
Well, he's got a PhD in astronomy, which is pretty useless, really.
Yeah, but what has he done?
It would be interesting. I'm going to one of these days prevail on your patience and get you to check up, see what his publications are like.
So, I mean, there's you listen to the Sagan stuff at the end, and you're like, this sounds pretty amateurish, really. This sounds like just marketing. And how much of the world around you is just marketing, so that somebody can, how many people are actually creating something to benefit other people, and how many people are just creating something to take from other people, to try to, market it so that they can, other people will willingly give up something to them, right? They're not really creating anything at all, are they? They're just taking. So, and a lot of people will try to fool themselves into believing, oh, well, I'm creating. I'm not a parasite or whatever. But anyway, back to solar power. Now, I used to think, oh, solar power, yeah, that's a great idea. Why are you putting it there? Just leave it where it's.
Some spilled soup.
That's fine. Now it's water. I don't want it there.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I put it there.
I didn't see it.
So the sun. There's a lot of areas of land. They're talking about the desert, and I've thought about this too. Well, there's nothing growing there. Put some solar panels up, whatever. There's nothing growing in the desert. Okay. How much energy are you losing every time you harness this power from the sun into the solar panel, and it can travel so far before the energy is lost? You're going to lose bits of energy as it's traveling away from the source that has collected it, right? Or you collect it in a battery, and then you have to ship the battery to where people are or something like that. And then how much energy is it going to cost to ship the battery? Or do you see what I'm saying? So then you have like places like we have in southern Alberta. There's 1-4 where it's just dry. People don't want to live there. There's antelope. They like to live there because they can handle it. Although before this rain came, we were seeing the pronghorn antelope right near Lethbridge, which
you saw one.
We don't. We don't see them up this far, but we did. It was incredible. So it's a lucky thing the rain came. Anyway, so there's places like that where it's drier, and you think, all right, well, there's nothing growing there anyway, because wherever you put the solar panel, you put up a solar farm. There's a whole bunch of panels. What's growing underneath? Oh, you just turned the land into a desert. Wherever you put those solar panels, the sun, the plants aren't getting the sun. The solar panels are getting the sun. It just makes sense, right? Wherever you put those panels, you're either going to get plants getting the sun or solar panels getting the sun. And the plants, I mean, that is a good green source of energy being harnessed from the sun. When plants break down, they produce more, compost, more nutrients for the next plants to come and whatever. Once your solar panel goes kaput, well, that's a different story, right? So then you have to worry about that. So you don't want to put your solar panels where there should be the ability to grow things. It just makes sense because it's more green to have plants growing than to have the solar panels. So, but the problem is, people want to live where plants grow, where they can have, the plants are going to provide them with food, or their livestock with food, or whatever. And plus they need water themselves. Humans need water themselves to survive. So you have to somehow have a way of having water. You're going to die quickly if you don't have water. So if you put your solar panels in a desert, are you able to get water to where those solar panels are? Because if they're in a desert, well, there's no plants there anyway. Well, in some places there are some that you wouldn't want to disturb that ecosystem either. But in places where there aren't any plants, well, if you put the solar panel there, what's the harm, really? But then, is there water? So, anyway, there are some places where solar panels would work out just dandy. Like, some places in the city might work out for now, in a period of adjustment or whatever, like on top of car parks or something like that. But
buildings, generally.
Yeah, but buildings need to be built differently in a lot of places anyway. And if they were built so that there were green buildings, then they wouldn't have solar panels on the roof anyway. So it wouldn't make sense to do that. It would make sense to have greenhouses on the roof instead of solar panels, for example. But what was I going to say? There are some places where, where the soil has went salty, and farmers can't grow anything on there. It's just salt. Nothing can grow there. Nothing. It's well, you could put up a few solar panels in that area, and that there's land right nearby, that there's water available. There's stuff that can grow, whatever, and so people could live there, even though there's this area with salt where nothing grows. So that could be a good use for solar panels. But honestly, this whole idea of solar, that's going to save us. Well, you can come up with some ideas for solar systems, but it's not going to be for your children. If you're a passive personality type, once you get older, you realize, the system's not designed for you to survive in this. And if you look at some of the examples of when people were trying to come up with some alternative energy sources and stuff like that, and systems for capturing energy and whatever, they were really desperate, because there were some people with enough foresight to realize there's too many people on the planet, too many humans. We've got to do something. And what happened? Well, there just became more and more humans on the planet, and we've got to do something. And it's you can go ahead and make these innovations for capturing solar energy or capturing wind energy or whatever, but it's not going to save humanity, because the main problem is there's too many humans. And anytime, do you like nature? Well, there's too many humans for the natural world to sustain itself. So that's what has to change. Stop breeding so much.
We've got 6 billion too many people. 6 billion. And the world's going to bite back.
I'm all for immigration, for people who want to learn, people who value learning, people who value living sustainably. And, people who are passive. I don't want any aggressive people. There's already too many. I don't want any here.
They can stay and make each other's lives miserable.
Yeah, they will keep destroying the planet and their own societies.
Yeah.
And they can stay a little bit distant. I don't want them to immigrate. I don't even really like them coming over to vacation here. I don't like to see them. But for passive people who value learning and want to live sustainably, or try to, that's great. I like to see more people like that. But and that means if you have more than 2 children and you're wanting to immigrate, well, then you don't want to live sustainably. So I don't want people coming over that have it. We already have so many people that it's going to cause a serious problem in very short order. So
Canada's was overpopulated when it was 20 million. It's now 40 million. It's twice as many people as we can afford to have.
So James is going to talk about his notes. How did you like your soup?
It's good.
Good.
A little bit sloppy sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but anyway,
okay.
I am going to talk a little bit more about my son.
You are.
Poor Neil deGrasse Tyson says unlimited energy. Yeah, it is. Kind of like when you're looking at it at the sun. But when you're looking at the sun, light falling on the earth, it's not unlimited. It falls all over the earth, and it's like a pie. It's a zero-sum game. And basically, using solar energy is cutting up the pie in a different way. We've only got so much solar energy coming. He's cutting up the pie in a different way. So he isolates wind energy as another source of energy. It's actually not. Here's what scientists say, and there's probably at least some truth to it. Wind is caused by differential heating of the Earth's surface. Where does the heat come from?
Yeah.
The sun.
Well, not all entirely, really, but I mean, there's.
Well, there'd be some internal
volcanic
energy.
Yeah.
Some, but it's minuscule. So, like you'd be messing with the wind patterns in the world, and ultimately, like if you're using heat here for solar energy, for this, that, and the other thing, you're taking away heat energy from somewhere else, and presumably winds would die down. I don't know. It's really, really naive of what he's talking about. It's stunning. Hopefully people I think some of these scripts date back to Carl Sagan, who died quite a while back. I think maybe there's a little bit more sophistication about that. Usually what I've seen is, wind energy, solar energy provide about 10% of our present needs, much less these expanding needs of doofuses, and not just developed countries, but developing countries like People's Republic of China and stuff like that. I don't know what to do about it. Like it may look as though we use a lot of